prize money come from? That's a lot of prize money.
Well, we have a lot of sponsors, and that's what the sponsorship money goes for, is the prize money that's given to the quilters. Here in Paducah, the best of show wins $20,000.
Amazing.
And then we give, in the large quilt categories, we give workmanship awards for hand, work done on a home sewing machine, work done on a long arm machine, and each of those are $12,000.
Amazing.
So to be one of those top 4 winners is very lucrative.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really amazing. So tell me,
but it also means that we get the very best quilts being made today entered in our contest. I like to say that our show is a fiber art show, because you're going to see very traditional quilts, those very traditional patterns, and then you're going to see the avant-garde original designs.
That's really cool. And what role do you think that the exhibits play as part of these quilt shows? Because that's always part of the quilt shows are these exhibits. And as you said, it's sort of I have a sense of I think I know what role they play. But what role do you see? How important are they as opposed to the vendors and the classes and all of that?
Well, many times I hear quilters say, okay, I've been so inspired I'm on overload by the time they get to the end of the week.
Right.
It certainly is a way for people to come get new ideas, and I don't care if it's just a new color scheme that you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
We do allow photographs to be taken of the quilts hanging in our shows, and if they go home with some ideas of something that they want to do different, but mostly it's about sharing those quilts. And, the people come to our shows because they want to be involved in quilting the whole week long, whether it's things they're doing with their quilting friends.
Yeah.
We have a lot of sisters and mothers and daughters and internet friends who plan to meet at the AQS Quilt Show here in Paducah, Kentucky.
That's very cool.
And so I always say there are a million stories out there. Once we get the show open and people come to town, there are always great stories about something the quilters are doing.
That's very cool. Well, I can't wait. I hear it's like nothing else. Like you have to, everyone I talk to says you have to experience Paducah. So I can't wait. So why is Paducah?
If you can just imagine that we're a community of about 26,000 in the city of Paducah. And last year, our attendance was over 31,000 people. And so you see that the quilters rule the world for one whole week, or 2 weeks now, because we do a fall show, too.
That is so funny. Now,
literally...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Literally, it is everything about quilts and quilting, and
that is so
the whole community. The motorcycle shop will have a display with quilts on the backs of the motorcycles. And
I love it.
We do a window display downtown that's a contest where they decorate their windows, and they win a little prize money and a beautiful ribbon that says AQS Quilt Week on it.
That is so great.
The whole community becomes involved around the quilt making.
I love it. Well, one of the things we really want to do is figure out how to understand that, not just the instructors and the quilt show and the exhibits and the vendors, of course, but I would love to be able to connect to some of the people in town to sort of that this is a thing. This is something that is like no other thing. And so, I think that's amazing. Now, do you have anybody in town that's just like those quilts? Like, they don't seem to, do you have any of those groups that are just like, I can't believe those quilters
because of all the people that come to town, and of course, the quilters want to stay in the city if they can.
Yeah.
There are many people in this community who rent out their home to quilters, and they go stay at their cabin at the lake.
That's actually we're doing that. We've got an Airbnb house for the week, so it's. I think it's so. I guess it's there's an economic benefit to that many quilters showing up into your town. So.
Well, and not only, of course, housing is an issue because we don't have nearly as many. They can't build enough rooms for 1 week.
Yeah.
Those hotels have to run 51 other weeks.
Yeah.
Also on food, we have a lot, and we've had as many as 100 buses come in for this show. And so you can just imagine trying to feed 40 or 50 people on your bus. And so many of the churches and other civic groups do different meals during the week, and they will take reservations so that they can get a whole busload in for a lasagna dinner at X church.
Oh my gosh.
Or,
so
cool.
Cool.
Maybe it's a lunch someplace else.
Yeah.
But, we depend on all those. And in fact, in food at the show itself, is set up around a tent, a big tent that has picnic tables in it, taking up a pretty decent portion of the parking lot. Because if you're taking a class, you don't have time to jump on a trolley and run downtown and eat at a restaurant. And even then, you'd probably have to wait to eat at that restaurant.
Right.
So there is food available, everything from Kentucky barbecue. And, of course, nobody can leave town without one of the Boy Scout strawberry shortcakes with the works on it. and many of the quilters, that's on their to-do list is
really great.
I have to have a strawberry shortcake from the Boy Scouts.
That is really great. Now, this seems exhausting to me, I have to say. I'm a little nervous. How, is it walkable? You talked about a trolley. Are there different spots where you have to get on and off a trolley?
Yes, we have a shuttle stop that's right next to the convention center. It's on the side of the convention center. And so we have shuttles that are dedicated to transport people back and forth to the hotels that are 5 miles away out by the mall. We have 2 downtown trolleys that they run a regular route through our lower town artist district and go downtown so that they can hop on and off that trolley any place that they can wave it over and it can safely stop. So it will stop and let you off. If you're down by the Finkel building where we have a Hurt book sale in the back room, if you're going to the Carson Center for one of our events, it's right down there on the trolley route as well. And then we have, because parking is another thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask about
and
that.
So we have a park and ride station out at Kentucky Oaks Mall where people can park their car and jump on the bus that will take them down to the convention center. And it will go back and forth all day long transporting people. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think. We've got the hotels. I've already talked about that one.
What about Uber or Lyft? Do you have people doing Uber and Lyft in your town?
We do have a Lyft service now here in Paducah, and the Blue Dot Cab Company is available for people.
That's great.
And so, I know when we go to shows, we use Uber or Lyft almost every show to get us some. Maybe we want to run to the grocery store or something to pick up some water and the things we didn't want to carry in our suitcases.
Right. That's really amazing. Okay, so I'm looking at sanctioned events on your website, and you've got I thought maybe just run through this so people could know how crazy this is. So 30th annual Rotary Quilt Show and Vendor Mall. So tell me what role, before we start down this list, tell me what role the American Quilter Society plays, like which part is your part and which part are other things happening. So you guys have the exhibit and classes.
We have the convention center, which is 2 levels, and there are vendors and quilts on both levels. And it's attached to the Expo Center, that's where the best of show and the large quilts and vendors are located. And then we have a short shuttle ride away. It's about a block if you walk it. Is an air dome. Some people like to call it the marshmallow. But it's a big tent held up by air. And in that you will find special exhibits and vendors. And in fact, 2 of our really special exhibits are located in the pavilion. One of them is the Cherry Woods Van Gogh of the French collection,
cool.
The French gallery. And so that's like 80 feet, all of this one exhibit. And
I saw that it's incredible. I'm so excited that that's going to be there. That it's stunning. It's stunning.
Yes, everybody needs to make sure they see that.
Yeah.
And then on the back side of that exhibit is some of the prize-winning quilts, including his first quilt of Ricky Timms.
That's very
so that quilt exhibit's called Ricky Timms Quilts That Speak.
And in case
And
people
we
don't,
will also have
hold on.
AQS authors and iQuilt instructors will have a showcase of some of their quilts. That's
Very
all
cool.
over at the pavilion. And to get there, you don't have to walk. We have 2 buses that will go from the expo center over to the pavilion. I mean, it's like, I don't know, a 3-minute bus ride. It's very, very close. You could walk it if it's nice. And we expect the weather to be nice during the quilt show.
That's very cool.
And then we also have an exhibit that's over at the Paducah School of Art and Design that is Korean quilts now. And if you ride the shuttle to the pavilion, one of those buses goes over to the art school. And we also we use their textile lab over there for some dyeing and painting classes.
Very cool.
So if anybody's taking those, they can jump on the shuttle and go over to that.
This is going to be so much fun. Okay. So,
you know what? We tell our staff, you dress to the ankles and take care of your feet because,
I was just thinking about that.
you know, you do have to move around to be able to see everything. And we want people to see all of the quilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of our very special exhibits this time aren't quilts at all, but they certainly are fiber art. And that is Ian Barry from the United Kingdom is going to set up 4 galleries of his work on the first floor of the convention center. And so it'll be his galleries of his work in the right inside the doors of the first floor. And then he'll be surrounded by vendors all the way around. So, it's
so cool.
We have a great week for people to come see some of the most beautiful quilts.
Okay. So what I think I'm do, as we talked about when we're going to air this, because just in case people don't know about it, I think maybe we'll try to air it next week in case they want to make plans to come see you, because this sounds like too much fun. Okay, so before we end, because I know we're at the half hour, but let's just go through what the other events that are on this website that are what did you call them? Sanctioned events. So the 30th annual Rotary Antique Quilt Show and Vendor Mall. What's that?
Yes, and they've done that for 30 years. We're on our 34th AQS show, and they rent the Civic Center, which is they have a bus that will drop you off there that leaves from our shuttle stop, and they always have an antique quilt show, and then they have some vendors that have been there for a number of years, and all of the proceeds of that particular event are donated to a scholarship fund that the Rotary provides for scholarships for local children.
That's so cool. All right, the National Quilt Museum.
Oh my gosh! Well, you know what? They're here all year long, but during the quilt show, they do special things. They always debut their new quilts from an old favorite contest, and this year that theme is bow tie. And the whole premise of that particular exhibit is to take a traditional design and do something new with it. And so people stretch it and skew it, and they put it in circles. They just do all kinds of fun stuff with those very traditional designs. They're going to have an exhibit of Japanese quilt artists who have influenced the world, and they'll have 30 works. And I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if they have it up, but it will be in time for the quilt show. And Regina Benson, who is a textile artist, also will have an exhibit over there called Personal Horizons. They have demonstrations going on paper piecing in their lobby all week long.
Love it.
And so they have things, but you know what? Now, all of the rest of the events close usually by 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Except Wednesday, the museum is going to open up 8 o'clock on Wednesday.
I see it. Oh my gosh.
I know, and they won't close until 6 o'clock on Thursday. So after you've gone to dinner on Wednesday night and say it's 10 or 11 o'clock at night, that would be a wonderful time for you to be able to have
24 hours. That's so great. You
Yes.
so want to go at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know? It's
What they did have some people, they did that in 2017.
Yeah.
And they did have people that came in the middle of the night.
Oh, I love it. If my husband was on the trip with us, he would totally be there because he would totally love that. And my daughter.
And then, of course, Thursday evening, we let them use some of our space in the convention center to do a live quilt auction.
Oh, that's so
cool. just tell you that almost every year I add a quilt to my personal collection, and I get it through the Quilt Museum